The training hall of the Interstellar Academy was loud with the sound of boots, claws, and strange alien limbs striking the floor. Cadets from many different species moved in lines, practicing stances, maneuvers, and combat drills. The Academy was known as the greatest place of learning in the galaxy. Here, young cadets came together to learn defense, strategy, and the art of discipline. Among the rows of cadets stood a single human girl. Her name was Maya Carter, and she was 17 years old. She had brown hair tied neatly, sharp eyes, and a posture that showed discipline even when she was tired. She wore the same standard training uniform as the others, but she always felt a little out of place. She was the only human in her squad. For most cadets, training under alien coaches was normal. But for Maya, every day felt like a test. Humans were new to the galactic stage. They had only joined the Academy 5 years ago, and most alien species thought of them as fragile and untested. Her coach, Thraxer, made sure everyone remembered that fact. Thraxer was from the Grathak species, a tall reptilian race with green scales, sharp yellow eyes, and heavy armor-like skin. He towered over the cadets, his voice booming like thunder whenever he shouted. His reputation was legendary in the Academy. Many cadets admired him, but Maya often felt his eyes were always on her, not with respect, but with doubt. Carter. Thraxor's deep voice echoed through the hall. Again. You move too slowly. If this were a real fight, you would already be defeated. Maya tightened her jaw and repeated the combat drill. Her movements were quick, sharp, and precise. But compared to the long reach and heavy strength of alien cadets, she looked smaller, lighter. Some of the alien cadets snickered quietly. They respected her effort, but they still thought humans were not built for combat. Maya ignored the whispers. She had learned to ignore them many times before. The drill ended and Thraxer moved down the line of cadets. He corrected the stance of a tall insectoid cadet, praised the power of a horned warrior, then stopped in front of Maya again. Fragile bones, he muttered in a voice loud enough for others to hear. Light frame, weak muscle. How can such a creature survive battle? Maya felt her cheeks grow warm, but she kept her eyes straight. Sir, humans survive because we adapt, she said softly, but her voice was steady. Thraxer narrowed his eyes. He did not like being answered, even politely. Adapt? He repeated. You mean hide, run, surrender. Maya's fists clenched, but she did not reply. She knew he wanted to test her patience. The training moved into sparring matches. Pairs of cadets stepped forward one by one, practicing controlled combat under Thraxer's watchful eyes. When Maya's turn came, she faced a tall avian cadet. The alien's wings were folded tight and his claws were sharp. The match began. The avian cadet lunged, fast and strong. Maya dodged sideways, feeling the rush of wind as claws missed her. She stepped in, using her smaller size to her advantage, and tapped the cadet's chest with her practice staff. The avian cadet stumbled back surprised. The match ended quickly. Maya had won. For a brief moment she felt proud, but when she looked toward Thraxer he was not pleased. His scaled face twisted into a frown. Luck, Thraxer barked. You survived only because your opponent made a mistake. In real battle, such hesitation would not save you. The pride in Maya's chest dimmed, but she stood tall. She had heard worse before. As the day went on, Thraxer's tone grew harsher. He pushed Maya harder than the others. Every mistake she made was pointed out loudly. Every success was dismissed as chance. Finally, near the end of training, Thraxer called the cadets into formation. Combat is not a game, he growled. It is survival. Weakness has no place here. And weakness, he said, turning his sharp eyes toward Maya, is what humans bring. The hall went silent. Cadets shifted uncomfortably. Even those who had doubted Maya before felt the coach's words were too sharp. Maya kept her face calm, but inside something stirred. She had trained for years, studied harder than most, and pushed herself beyond limits. Yet no matter what she did, Thraxer only saw weakness. Sir, Maya said, her voice calm but steady. Humans are not weak. We just fight differently. Thraxer's tail flicked across the floor. Differently? Show me then. Before anyone could react, Thraxer stepped forward. His massive arm swung out, striking Maya across the shoulder. The blow was not full strength, but even held back, it was enough to send her stumbling. Gasps filled the room. Coaches were never supposed to strike cadets without warning. Pain shot through Maya's body, but something else rose stronger. Instinct. Her body moved before her mind caught up. She pivoted on her heel, ducked under Thraxer's follow-up, grab, and drove her elbow upward with all her force. The strike landed against a vulnerable spot just below the coach's jawline. Thraxer's head snapped back. His balance faltered. Maya twisted, hooking her leg behind his knee, and with surprising strength, she dropped him flat onto the training floor. The entire hall froze. Thraxer, the towering, feared coach, lay stunned on the ground. And Maya, Carter, the fragile human, stood above him, breathing hard but steady. No one spoke. The silence was heavy, filled with disbelief. Alien cadets stared wide-eyed. Some whispered in shock. Others looked at Maya with new eyes, no longer dismissing. Maya herself was stunned by what she had done. She had not planned it. Her body had simply reacted, fast, instinctive, and decisive. Thraxer rose slowly, his yellow eyes burning with both anger and something else. Respect, though he did not admit it yet. Enough, he growled, brushing the dust from his scales. His voice carried a weight that made the cadets stand straighter. Training is over for today. Cadets left the hall in murmurs, still glancing back at Maya. Some looked impressed. Others seemed nervous. Maya stood alone for a moment, her heart racing. She had not meant to strike her coach, but something inside told her it was the only choice she had in that moment. She knew this would change everything. The question was, for better or worse? The news of what had happened in the training hall spread faster than a solar flare through the Interstellar Academy. By the next morning, cadets from every squad, species, and rank whispered in corridors, gathered in small groups, and replayed the story of the human cadet who had dropped the legendary Thraxer. Maya Carter walked through the Academy's main corridor, her head held high but her heart racing. Everywhere she went, she felt eyes on her. Some looked curious, others wary, and a few with admiration. It was strange. One day she was just a human trying to survive alien training. The next day, she was a story. In the mess hall, cadets whispered even as they ate. "Did you see it?" asked a tall, six-armed cadet with violet skin. "She really dropped him?" "She did," said a small, furry cadet nervously. "I saw it myself. The human just moved. Like lightning. I've never seen anything like it." Maya kept walking past the tables, careful not to make eye contact. She didn't want attention, but she had learned early in life that attention followed humans, whether they liked it or not. Finally, she arrived at her squad's quarters. The doors opened with a hiss and the room smelled of recycled air and training sweat. Some of her squad mates stared at her, unsure how to act. Her friend Rila, a tall, elegant alien with shimmering blue skin, finally spoke. "Maya, everyone is talking about you." "I know," Maya said quietly, sitting on the edge of her cot. "I didn't mean to hit him. It just happened." Rila shook her head. "It's not about meaning to. It's about showing what humans are capable of. For once, you surprised everyone, even Thraxer." Maya looked down at her hands. She still felt the sting from the coach's strike and the rush of adrenaline from her reaction. "I just don't want trouble. I just want to learn." Before Rila could respond, a soft chime echoed in the room. A message had arrived from Academy Command. Maya's stomach tightened. Academy Command messages were usually formal, serious, and sometimes terrifying. She opened it cautiously. The message was brief. "Human Cadet Maya Carter, you are requested in the administrative hall at 1400 hours. Bring your squad leader." Maya's pulse quickened. She had no idea what to expect. Would they punish her, expel her, or something else? At exactly 1400 hours, she and her squad leader, A calm and fair alien named Vorik entered the administrative hall. The room was vast, with a high ceiling and walls of polished metal. Several senior officials waited, their faces unreadable. "Cadet Carter," said one of them, a tall humanoid with silver hair. "Please have a seat." Maya sat, her hands folded on her lap. Vorik stood beside her, his presence steadying. "We have reviewed the incident in the training hall," the humanoid continued. "Coach Thraxer reports that you struck him and brought him down during training. This is highly irregular, and under normal circumstances, it would warrant disciplinary action." Maya's stomach tightened. She had feared this. However, the official continued, "We have also considered the context. The cadets and witnesses report that Coach Thraxer's actions were aggressive beyond normal training protocol, and your response demonstrated exceptional skill and reflexes." Maya blinked. "Skill and reflexes?" "Yes," the official said, nodding. "Your reaction was faster, more precise, and more effective than anyone anticipated. Even our most advanced combat simulations could not have predicted such an outcome from a human." Vorik gave her a small nod of encouragement. Maya felt a wave of relief, but also confusion. "So, I'm not in trouble?" she asked carefully. "No," the official said. "Instead, we believe this incident reveals a unique potential in humans: adaptability, unpredictability, and survival instinct. You will be given the opportunity to prove your worth in controlled evaluations. If you succeed, your place at the Academy will not only be secure, it may inspire new training methods for humans and others alike." Maya's heart pounded. This was more than she had expected. She had only wanted to survive. Now, she had the chance to show what humans could do. The senior officials dismissed her with a nod. Vorik spoke softly as they left. "This is your moment, Maya. Show them the human edge." Over the next few days, the Academy buzzed with anticipation. Training. Schedules were adjusted to include evaluation sessions, special trials designed to test cadets' reflexes, strategy, and adaptability. Maya was assigned a schedule of exercises against various alien cadets, some larger, stronger, or faster than her. When she entered the training hall again, she noticed the difference immediately. Cadets gave her space, watching her carefully. Coaches observed her with new interest. Whispers of human cadet floated through the room, carrying a mix of doubt, curiosity, and admiration. The first evaluation involved speed and agility. Maya was paired against a Hornax, a heavy armored alien with thick limbs and blunt claws. The task was simple: evade and strike targets as fast as possible while avoiding the opponent's attacks. The Hornax lunged. Maya ducked under his swing, rolled to the side, and tapped a target with her staff. The Hornax swung again. She leapt, flipped, and landed perfectly to strike another target. The movements were fluid, fast, and unpredictable. Coaches murmured among themselves. "Humans really are different," one said quietly. The next trial tested strategy. Cadets were divided into teams and tasked with capturing a flag from a simulated battlefield. Most alien cadets relied on brute strength or pre-learned patterns. Maya, on the other hand, observed, planned, and adapted. She noticed that one alien squad repeated the same formation every round. During the next run, she used misdirection, feints, and unexpected routes to outmaneuver them. Her team captured the flag faster than anyone expected. Alien cadets stared in disbelief. By the end of the week, Maya had completed several trials. Each time, she demonstrated something the aliens had not anticipated. Humans did not rely on strength alone. They relied on creativity, speed, observation, and intuition. Some cadets began approaching her, not with mockery, but with questions. "How do you move so fast?" asked a small insectoid cadet. "How do you always know what the other team will do?" asked a towering amphibious cadet. Maya smiled a little shyly. "We pay attention. We adapt. That's what humans do." Even Thraxer observed silently from a distance. He did not speak to her, but his sharp eyes followed her every move. Maya noticed the change. He no longer dismissed her as fragile. There was respect, grudging and quiet, growing with each trial she completed. By the end of the second week, the Academy itself began to acknowledge something important. Humans were not just fragile newcomers. They were unpredictable, adaptable, and capable of thinking in ways that other species could not anticipate. One evening, after a long day of training, Maya sat alone in the Academy's observation deck, looking out at the stars. She thought of Earth, her home planet, small and blue in the vast galaxy. She thought of everything humans had survived: floods, storms, wars, and the countless challenges of history. And she realized something. Maybe that was why humans could do what they did at the Academy, not because they were stronger or faster or taller than the aliens, but because humans never gave up. They adapted, they observed, they reacted, they survived. A quiet sense of determination filled her. She was no longer just a cadet trying to prove herself. She was a human, standing on the galactic stage, ready to show the galaxy what her species could do. As she turned to leave the observation deck, she felt a hand on her shoulder. She looked up to see Vorik smiling. "Tomorrow is the final evaluation," he said. "Be ready, Maya. The galaxy is watching, and it is time to show them your edge." Maya nodded. She felt nervous, yes, but also ready. Whatever challenges came next, she knew she had one advantage no one else had. She was human, and humans never stopped moving forward. The sun of the nearby star painted the Interstellar Academy in shades of gold and orange as the morning drills began. Maya Carter stretched, her muscles sore from the previous day's evaluations, but her mind was sharp. Today, she would face the test of worth, a trial designed to challenge every cadet not just physically, but mentally and strategically. The test of worth was infamous in the Academy. Rumors told of cadets who had failed simply because they could not anticipate the unpredictable. It was a multi-stage evaluation combining agility courses, combat simulations, and teamwork challenges. Only cadets who could adapt under pressure passed. Maya felt a spark of determination. She had already surprised the Academy once. Now, she needed to show that humans could excel, not just react. The trial began with Stage 1, agility and reflexes. Cadets faced a room filled with moving obstacles, shifting walls, and holographic opponents. Many alien cadets approached it with caution, calculating each move. Maya, however, closed her eyes for a brief moment, breathing deeply, and then moved. Her small frame allowed her to slip between gaps that larger cadets struggled to fit through. When a holographic enemy lunged, she dodged instinctively, spun, and tapped the target. The walls shifted unexpectedly, but she adjusted instantly, weaving around the hazards with a fluidity that left others gasping. Observers whispered. "The human moves differently," one said. "No hesitation, always adapting." Stage 1 ended, and cadets were given a short break before Stage 2, combat strategy. This part required teams of cadets to capture simulated control points while defending their own. Maya's squad was paired with 2 alien cadets known for their strength but not their cleverness. The alien cadets immediately charged ahead, hoping to overpower their opponents. Maya noticed a flaw in the enemy formation. They left the side, entrance unguarded. She signaled her squad and they slipped through the opening, capturing the first control point without confrontation. When the enemy realized what happened, they tried to regroup, but Maya had already anticipated their movements. Using feints, misdirection, and quick adjustments, her team captured the remaining points efficiently. The instructors watched in awe. Even Thraxor, who observed silently from a balcony above, shifted uncomfortably. He was a creature of strength and discipline, used to brute force and predictable strategy. Maya's human creativity unsettled him, not because it was dangerous, but because it was different. After a short rest, the final stage began. The survival simulation. Cadets were placed in a virtual environment where hazards appeared without warning. Collapsing platforms, energy traps, and aggressive drones. Cadets had to reach the extraction point within a limited time. Most aliens relied on pre-learned patterns, waiting for instructions or trying brute force solutions. Maya, however, moved quickly, studying each hazard carefully and reacting instantly. When a drone swooped toward her, she rolled, flipped, and used a holographic panel as a shield. When the floor beneath her cracked, she leapt to an adjacent platform, keeping her pace steady. The other cadets struggled, some panicking, some frozen by indecision. Maya reached the extraction point first, her heart racing, but her mind calm. When the simulation ended, the instructors congratulated her. "Cadet Carter, you demonstrate a level of adaptability that is rare even among seasoned cadets of other species," said one instructor, a tall, winged alien with silver feathers. "Your reactions, foresight, and creativity are exceptional." Maya felt a mixture of relief and pride. She had done more than survive. She had excelled. But the test of worth was not just about skill. It was about observation. After the trials, cadets were called to the central hall for a debriefing and analysis session. Here, instructors dissected each cadet's performance, pointing out strengths and weaknesses. As Maya stepped forward, she noticed alien cadets staring. Some were curious, others wary. She took a deep breath and prepared to listen. The instructors began, analyzing each squad. When it was Maya's turn, they paused, exchanging glances. "Human Cadet Carter," said one instructor. "Your performance is unlike anything we expected. You do not rely on raw strength or predictable patterns. Instead, you observe, adapt, and exploit opportunities as they arise. This is a form of combat intelligence many species lack." Another instructor added, "Your species may be new to the galactic stage, but your instincts and ingenuity are remarkable. You demonstrate what we might call the human edge, the ability to survive and succeed where others might fail." The hall erupted in quiet murmurs. Alien cadets whispered among themselves, many of them clearly impressed. Some who had doubted humans before now looked at Maya with respect, if not awe. Even Thraxer stepped forward. He did not speak immediately. Instead, he studied Maya carefully, his sharp eyes narrowing. Finally, he said, "Human, you have survived tests that many seasoned cadets fail. You adapt quickly and think differently. It is impressive." Maya's stomach tightened. This was the first time Thraxor had acknowledged her skills without criticism. She nodded politely. "Thank you, sir," she said, her voice steady. Thraxor inclined his massive head slightly, the closest he came to a smile. "Do not misunderstand me," he warned. "You are human. You may have survived these trials, but the galaxy is vast and dangerous. Adaptation alone will not protect you. You must continue to learn, to anticipate, and to grow." Maya nodded, again understanding the warning. Survival was not about one victory. It was about continuous effort, vigilance, and evolution. After the debriefing, Maya returned to her quarters. She felt exhausted, but also alive in a way she had never felt before. The Academy was teaching her more than combat. It was teaching her how humans could survive and thrive in the galaxy. Later that evening, she met with Rila in the training courtyard. The twin moons of the nearby planet reflected off the polished floors, casting a soft glow. "You were incredible today," Rila said softly, her eyes wide. "Even the instructor said so. I think you've changed how everyone sees humans." Maya smiled faintly. "I just did what I had to do. Observed, reacted, adapted. That's all." Rila shook her head. "It's more than that. You didn't just survive the tests. You showed them a new way to think, a new way to fight. That is powerful." Maya looked up at the stars. She thought of Earth, of everything humans had overcome. She felt a sense of pride, but also a growing responsibility. Humans were no longer just newcomers. They were capable of shaping the future. The next morning, news spread that Maya Carter had achieved the highest scores in all 3 stages of the test of worth. Alien cadets who had doubted humans now asked her advice, hoping to understand her unique approach. Even Thraxor watched quietly, a hint of respect in his gaze. Maya realized that this was only the beginning. The Academy had tested her skill, intelligence, and adaptability, but the true challenge was still ahead. The galaxy was full of unknown dangers, and humans would need to prove themselves not just in training, but in the real challenges that awaited. Maya felt a spark of determination. She was ready. Humans had survived countless challenges on their home planet. They had endured storms, wars, and hardships beyond measure. Now in the Academy and beyond, humans would continue to survive and then thrive by using the one thing that made them special, their ability to adapt and overcome, no matter the odds. She clenched her fists, ready for whatever the galaxy would throw next. Maya Carter, human cadet, was no longer just surviving. She was preparing to change the way the galaxy thought about humans. The Academy's alarms blared sharply, cutting through the calm morning like a knife. Cadets scrambled from their quarters, the usual disciplined drills replaced by hurried urgency. Maya Carter froze for a brief moment, sensing that this was no ordinary training exercise. The hallways were already filled with instructors shouting instructions, alien cadets running in organized chaos, and flashing lights warning of danger. A holographic display flickered in the main courtyard. It showed a dark mass moving toward the outer perimeter of the Academy. A rogue combat drone, one of the Academy's experimental war machines, had malfunctioned. But this drone was no ordinary training tool. Its energy systems were overcharged, and it moved with lethal precision. The drone attacked anything in its path. "Evacuate cadets to safety zones," Thraxor bellowed, his voice cutting over the alarms. "Do not engage it directly." But Maya did not move to evacuate. Her instincts told her that running would cost lives. The drone was fast, intelligent, and deadly. It would trap anyone who tried to escape in the narrow corridors. She realized that to survive and protect others, she had to think and act differently. She grabbed her training staff and sprinted toward the central courtyard, where the drone was already attacking alien cadets. Her heart raced, but her mind stayed calm, analyzing the drone's movements, its patterns, and its weaknesses. The drone struck a group of cadets, sending them sprawling. Maya rolled under a mechanical arm, swung her staff, and deflected a laser strike. Most cadets froze in fear, but Maya moved instinctively. She dodged, feinted, and used her agility to stay one step ahead. A group of cadets called to her. "Help us. Stop it." Maya nodded. "Follow me. Watch my moves, and stay alert." She led them in a flanking maneuver. Instead of charging the drone directly, she used the environment, bouncing off walls, ducking under scaffolding, and guiding the cadets to attack from angles the drone did not anticipate. The drone adapted quickly, but humans were unpredictable. Maya adjusted mid-movement, calling instructions with clarity and calm. "Left flank, duck, now." Cadets moved, barely keeping pace with her, but they managed to slow the drone's advance. Maya noticed a critical pattern. The drone repeated a slight pause after every laser strike, a vulnerability she could exploit. She gritted her teeth and took a calculated risk. Sprinting forward, she baited the drone into firing a heavy blast. At the last second, she rolled to the side and, with her staff, struck a joint in the drone's leg mechanism. Sparks flew. The drone faltered, giving the cadets time to regroup. Thraxor's voice echoed from above. "Impressive, human. But be careful. One mistake." Maya didn't respond. She didn't need to. She had already formulated her next move. The drone's sensors glowed red, indicating it would attack again. Maya led the cadets in a coordinated series of feints. They dodged, struck weak points, and gradually forced the drone toward the edge of the courtyard, where a containment field could trap it. "Now," she shouted. With a final push, the cadets hit the drone's side panels, triggering the containment field. A pulse of energy enclosed the machine, freezing it in place. The courtyard went silent, except for the labored breathing of cadets and instructors. Maya stood at the center, her staff in hand, chest heaving. She felt a mix of exhaustion and exhilaration. For the first time, her human instincts had not only kept her alive, but had saved others as well. Thraxor descended the steps to the courtyard. His heavy scales glinted in the sunlight. He looked at Maya, then at the cadets she had guided. His yellow eyes were sharp, and for the first time there was no trace of mockery, only respect. "Human," he said finally, his voice low but firm. "You were right. Adaptation, quick thinking, and unpredictability, these are your strengths. You have proven them today, not in a controlled simulation, but in a real threat. This is something no other species could have done so effectively." Maya felt a wave of relief but also humility. She had done what she could, but the danger had been real. She knew that in the galaxy threats were not always predictable. Preparation mattered, but instinct and adaptability were just as important. The instructors gathered around, taking notes and discussing strategies. "This human cadet shows abilities that could redefine our approach to training," said one winged alien. "We need to study her methods carefully." Maya stayed quiet, her mind already processing what had happened. The drone was disabled, the cadets were safe, and Thraxor had acknowledged her skills. But she understood that this was only a glimpse of what the galaxy might throw at her in the future. Later, in the squad's quarters, cadets crowded around Maya. Some were wide-eyed, others nervous. They asked questions. "How did you know what to do?" asked one small, furry cadet. Maya smiled faintly. "I watched, I waited. I moved only when I saw a chance. And I adapted every step of the way. That's how humans survive." Rila nodded, her blue eyes bright. "You didn't just save yourself, you saved all of us. You showed that humans can lead even in impossible situations." Maya shook her head. "I didn't do it alone. We worked together. Everyone listened. Everyone moved. That's what made it possible." Word of her actions spread through the academy like wildfire. Humans, once underestimated, were now being seen in a new light. Cadets of other species started to approach her, not with suspicion, but with interest and curiosity. Some wanted to learn from her. Some wanted to understand how humans could think differently. Even Thraxor began observing her more closely during training. He gave fewer criticisms and more challenges designed to test her adaptability and instincts. Maya understood that he was testing her not to punish but to push her further. The next few days were filled with debriefings, analysis, and additional training. Maya studied every move of the drone incident, replaying it in her mind to understand how humans and aliens could work together more effectively. She noted how alien cadets often relied on strength, speed, or sheer size, predictable traits. Humans, she realized, excelled in improvisation, observation, and unpredictability. One evening, Thraxor approached her privately in the courtyard. The twin moons reflected off his scales, giving him a softer, almost reflective appearance. "Human," he said, his deep voice low, "you have proven yourself in ways that even I could not anticipate. But this galaxy is vast and full of dangers far greater than a rogue drone. You must understand this. Strength alone will not save you. Only your mind, your instincts, and your ability to adapt will." Maya nodded. "I understand, sir. I will continue to learn, and I will continue to adapt." Thraxor's eyes narrowed thoughtfully. "Good. Humans may be new to the stars, but perhaps they are something special after all. Do not let anyone, not even me, forget that." As he left, Maya stood alone, staring at the stars beyond the academy's walls. The drone incident had been a test, unplanned but real. She knew it was only the beginning. Out there in the galaxy there were dangers far beyond anything the Academy could simulate, and she understood that humans, with their adaptability, ingenuity, and courage, had a chance to face them successfully. Maya clenched her fists. The predator of the stars, whether machine, creature, or unknown force, would have to deal with humans. Unpredictable, fast-thinking, and willing to fight not just with strength but with heart, mind, and courage. And for the first time she truly believed that humans were not just survivors. They were fighters, leaders, and a force the galaxy could not ignore. The day began with a sense of anticipation that vibrated through the Interstellar Academy. Word of Maya Carter's courage and skill had spread across the station, reaching even cadets and instructors who had never seen her in action. Humans were no longer just the fragile newcomers. They were a species to be watched, studied, and in some cases, admired. Maya stood on the training deck, stretching and preparing for the final evaluation, an exercise designed to measure not just skill, but leadership, strategy, and teamwork. Today, she would face a challenge unlike any before. The instructors had arranged a simulated multi-species battle, pitting teams against each other to test decision-making under pressure. For Maya, it was a chance to show the Academy what humans were truly capable of. Her squadmates gathered around. Rila leaned close and whispered, "This is it, Maya. Your chance to prove yourself again." Maya nodded, her heart steady. "It's not just about me. It's about showing what humans can do together with others." The exercise began. Holographic barriers lit up, marking zones, while simulated enemies appeared with unpredictable movements. Most cadets immediately rushed into the fight, relying on their training and physical strength. Maya, however, paused, observing the battlefield. She noticed the patterns in the enemy's behavior. They expected brute force, predictable attacks, and pre-planned strategies. She turned to her squad. "Watch and follow me, don't just react, think and move." Maya led her team through a series of feints and misdirections, using her smaller size and agility to her advantage. She guided cadets to control the zones strategically, avoiding direct confrontations when unnecessary, and exploiting openings when they appeared. The alien instructors observing the exercise leaned forward, whispering to each other. "She is guiding them rather than fighting herself." "That is highly unusual," one said. Maya noticed the reactions of her opponents. They were frustrated by her unpredictability. They expected a human to struggle, to panic, or to follow instinct without strategy. Instead, Maya combined instinct with calculation, improvisation with foresight. The battle reached its climax when Maya's team was surrounded on all sides. The enemy had blocked the main routes, using strength to corner them. Most cadets froze, unsure how to escape. Maya's eyes scanned the battlefield. She saw a small maintenance tunnel, partially concealed, that could allow her squad to slip past the enemy. Without hesitation, she signaled the move. "Follow me. Stay close. Move silently." Cadets moved quickly, trusting her judgment. Using the hidden route, they bypassed the enemy's blockade and reached a control point that secured the victory. The instructors nodded, impressed by the ingenuity and leadership Maya had displayed. When the exercise ended, the Academy gathered the cadets for the final debriefing. Instructors spoke about performance, tactics, and teamwork, but all eyes were drawn to Maya. Her name had become synonymous with adaptability, creativity, and courage. "Cadet Carter," said one instructor, a humanoid with golden eyes. "Your performance today has demonstrated the true potential of your species. Humans are not the weakest. You are not fragile. You are a species capable of observing, learning, and leading under pressure. You have combined instinct with strategy, imagination with calculation. This is the human edge." Maya felt a rush of pride. For years, humans had been underestimated, seen as small, weak, and inexperienced. But today, she had shown that humans could excel, not by trying to be like others, but by using their unique abilities, their adaptability, creativity, and courage. Even Thraxor stepped forward, his massive form casting a shadow across the deck. His yellow eyes, usually stern and critical, held a glint of respect. "Human," he said, his voice low but firm, "you have exceeded expectations. You are not just strong in body, but strong in mind. You lead, inspire, and survive where others might fail. You have shown me, and the Academy, that humans are a species to be reckoned with." Maya nodded. "Thank you, sir. I learned from my mistakes, from others, and from myself. That's what humans do. We adapt. We keep going." The instructors and cadets applauded. It was a rare moment of celebration, one that transcended species, politics, and prejudice. Humans had earned respect. Maya had not only proven herself, but she had also shown that humans could change the way the galaxy viewed them. Later that evening, the cadets gathered in the Academy's observation deck. The twin moons reflected light across the polished floor, casting soft glows on their faces. Maya stood with Rila and her squad, smiling faintly. "You did it," Rila said softly. "You've changed everything." Maya shrugged. "I just did what humans have always done. Survive and adapt. That's all. But yes, it feels good to be recognized." The next day, the Academy formally acknowledged her achievements. A special ceremony was held in the main hall. Instructors and cadets from all species attended. Thraxor, who had rarely attended ceremonial events, was present as well. The head of the Academy spoke. "Today we recognize the exceptional talent and courage of Cadet Maya Carter. She has demonstrated that humans, once underestimated, possess unique abilities that can inspire all species. Adaptability, ingenuity, and courage are qualities that allow humanity to survive and thrive in the galaxy. Let this recognition serve as a reminder that strength is not always measured in size or power, but in the ability to think, react, and persevere." Applause filled the hall. Humans and aliens alike cheered. Some cadets looked thoughtful, realizing that Maya's methods and human instincts were something worth studying. Others, previously dismissive, now approached her for advice, eager to understand the human approach to combat, strategy, and leadership. Maya felt a quiet satisfaction. This recognition was not just for her, but for all humans. For centuries, humans had faced challenges on Earth and beyond, adapting, surviving, and thriving. Now they were being seen in a new light in the Academy and across the galaxy. Thraxor approached her privately after the ceremony. "You have proven something important, human," he said. "Not just skill, but spirit. The galaxy will test humans again and again. Remember, it is your ability to adapt, to think differently, and to act courageously that will allow you to survive and to lead." Maya nodded. "I understand, sir. Humans will continue to adapt, learn, and rise. That is what we do." Thraxor's eyes softened slightly. "I look forward to seeing what comes next." As the crowd dispersed, Maya walked to the observation deck overlooking the stars. She thought of Earth, of its oceans, mountains, deserts, and cities. She thought of the history of her species, of survival against the odds. Humans had been underestimated for centuries. Now in the Academy and beyond, they had begun to show their true value. Maya clenched her fists, feeling determination welling inside her. The galaxy was vast, full of challenges and dangers, but she was no longer just a cadet trying to survive. She was a human, unpredictable, adaptable, and courageous. Other cadets approached, asking her to show maneuvers, to explain her decisions, and to guide them in strategy. She realized that she was becoming a teacher, not by choice but by necessity. Humans had a new role: to show the galaxy that survival was more than strength. It was thinking, adapting, and persevering. Over the following weeks, the Academy began integrating lessons inspired by Maya's approach. Humans were now included in advanced strategy courses, their instincts studied, their methods respected. Aliens who had doubted humans began to seek collaboration, realizing that teamwork with humans offered new possibilities. One evening, as Maya stood with Rila on the observation deck, the stars twinkled in the distance. "Do you think we've really changed how they see humans?" Rila asked. Maya smiled. "Yes, humans have always adapted. Now the galaxy is starting to see it too. We survived Earth, we survived the Academy, and now we'll survive whatever comes next." Rila nodded, her eyes bright. "The galaxy won't know what hit it when humans rise." Maya laughed softly. "It's not about hitting, it's about thinking, acting, and surviving. That's the human edge." As the moons reflected on their faces, Maya felt a sense of pride, not in herself, but in humanity. For centuries, Humans had proven that their greatest strength was their mind, their spirit, and their will to survive. Now, standing at the forefront of the galaxy, humans had begun to prove it to everyone else. And for Maya Carter, the human cadet who had once been underestimated, that was just the beginning.